What is up, guys? Today I'm going to give you a top 10 Ghosts of Tabor tips. I'm going to try to keep it under 5 minutes so we can get straight into it. Tip number 1 is going to be learn all the player spawns inside of the maps that you play. This will give you a huge advantage over about 90% of the people that you play against. If you rush those spawns in the beginning of the game, it's going to give you a free kill if you have adequate skill. Tip number 2 is going to be if you pick up a gun out of a crate, always make sure that you chamber. If you pick up a gun from a player or a Phoenix, always make sure that the mag is full and it is chambered. Tip number 3 is going to be to check all high tier loot spawns before you leave the raid, even if it's late inside of that raid, right? You don't want to be running through a raid not making fucking money, all right? That's not the point of the fucking game. The point of the game is to go into raids, PvP, and make money. I want every single one of you guys to be giga chads making millions of dollars inside of Ghosts of Tabor so you can smoke grass and tap ass, all right? You guys have to think about it like this. If you guys are going into raids with $100,000 worth of gear on and you guys are only making 10, 20K per raid, you have to do between 10 and 5 raids to make up the money for your kit, right? So we want our net profit to be at a positive and not a negative. If we go into those raids and we die before we make our mark, then that means we are at a deficit, we are losing money, and I don't know what the fuck I just said, but it sounded smart. Anyways, on to tip number 4. Tip number 4 is going to be run training raids in order to find the best loot spawns. If you haven't already seen a video that talks about that, and then also learn how to navigate the map to keep an efficient route for loot and also cover, because both of those things are very important. As mentioned in the previous tip, you need to make a lot of money and you also need to not die. Tip number 5. Tip number 5 is to make sure that your settings are dialed in for you, right? Not my settings, not the way that I set my shit up, the way that it is best for you. You will have to play around with the settings. Us content creators give you a baseline where it should be, but you could always tweak it in the manner that is best suited for you. You can watch videos from different creators and see what settings work best for you. And then also, as I stated in the previous tip, it is going to be to go into the tutorial and practice your aim for like 5 minutes every single time you load the game up. That way you keep fresh and you're ready to go whenever you get into your first raid and you'll get caught off guard. Tip number 6, this is a pretty good tip as well. If you can avoid shooting at someone as soon as you see them, you can gain a little bit of intel and position yourself in a better way to have an advantage in that fight, right? If somebody pushes around a corner, if you're out in the open, at least in a building, it's kind of hard. If they see you, you guys have to shoot each other. But if you're out in the open and somebody comes around a corner and they don't see you, give it a second. You can line your shot up better, not just spray and pray. You could also find out if they have a teammate before you start shooting. Because let's say you shoot and drop that guy, that teammate's not going to push around that corner immediately. He may wait a second and listen. You go push the body and guess what? Now you're dead. So take a second to get a little bit of information before you fight. That way when you initiate that fight, you have the full advantage. And before we move on to tip number 7, I just want to ask you guys to hit that like button and let me know in the comments any tips you guys have that would be helpful for new players. Tip number 7 is do not loot out in the open. Always grab your loot and move it somewhere where you can defend yourself if you need to. Stay vigilant. Don't sit in the same spot for 15 minutes looting, even if you are in cover, because somebody could come along and get your ass. That shit makes noise, and noise will get you killed inside of Ghosts of Tabor. All right. So if you guys have a bag that you want to get the loot from, if you guys have a gun that you want to get the attachments from, either putting your bag on your weapon, whatever, always take it somewhere. Do it inside of a secure location. Tip number 8, along with map knowledge, is also going to be making sure that you're checking your corners. You guys don't want to get caught up and end up losing all your loot because you rushed through a doorway and you didn't know that there was somebody on the other side of it camping you. Rooftops, doorways, rooms that don't have exits. All right, those are the main things that you want to be making sure that you're a little bit more careful of whenever you're running around. Tip number 9 is always bring a bag. Always bring a bag. I don't give a shit if you want to do a fucking naked run. Always bring a bag. You can carry medicine, bandages, extra magazines, and also loot. You know, we got to make money. If you're going on a naked run, you don't want to bring any gear in. At least you have a sling bag. Let's say you get a gun. You're not going to run around with a bottle of Lonely Viper hot sauce in your hand. You're running around with in your hand. You're using a fully automatic gun. You try to shoot and you miss because you can't fucking aim. You have a bag, throw in your bag, you're good to go. Bring a fucking bag. You need those sweet, sweet Karunas need to come to you, right? We're trying to make you the Giga Chat billionaire inside of Ghosts of Tabor. And then finally, tip number 10. Tip number 10 is a tip that is as ageless as Tabor is. It's been in every single one of their videos, pretty much that they post on Twitter, inside their Discord, so on and so forth, yada, yada, yada. And that is going to be to trust no one. And if you guys don't understand that, that means that if you run into somebody inside the raid and they're waving their fucking hands around, they're like, I'm friendly, I'm friendly, I'm friendly. Just shoot them. Just shoot them and get it over with. Because given the opportunity, they're going to do the same thing to you and they're going to take all that loot. And you're going to feel like an idiot. If somebody says, oh God, hey, check this out. See what I got. Look what I got. Come over here. Don't do it. Just kill him. Just kill him. It's that simple. But yeah, guys, that is going to be the end of today's video. I do appreciate you guys sticking around. I do apologize for not coming out with a video sooner. I've had a lot of shit going on, holiday, family shit, blah, 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 so on and so forth. I appreciate you guys' support, all the subscribers that I do have. We finally made it over 500. Obviously, we're on our way to 1,000. 1,000 is a good milestone because full-time YouTube is obviously the end goal. So yeah, I'm going to try to at least post 2 videos a month. I'm going to say that here so I can hold myself accountable. I can remember that I said it in a video and said it to the people of YouTube. Right, I'm holding myself accountable, or trying to at least. I have a bad habit of forgetting to do shit and getting sidetracked very easily. But that is going to be the end of it. Like I said before, we'll catch you guys in the next one. Again, I appreciate every single one of you.